Spider-Man: One More Day, the story, Marvel fans still argue about. For Spider-Man fans, there may be no comic more controversial than the 2007 storyline Spider-Man: One More Day. Nearly 2 decades later, readers are still debating whether it saved Spider-Man or damaged the character forever. But behind the scenes, there are several lesser-known facts about One More Day that make the story even more fascinating. Let's dive in. In 2007, Spider-Man was facing one of the darkest moments of his life. After revealing his secret identity during Marvel's Civil War event, Peter Parker's enemies suddenly knew exactly who he was. Then tragedy struck. An assassin hired to kill Peter missed his target and shot Aunt May instead. As Aunt May lay dying, Peter desperately searched for a way to save her. He turned to heroes, scientists, and even magic. Nothing worked. That's when a mysterious offer appeared. The demon Mephisto offered Peter and Mary Jane a deal. Aunt May would live. But in exchange, Peter and Mary Jane's marriage would be erased from history. The couple accepted. Reality changed. Nobody remembered Peter's identity. The marriage never happened. And Marvel's Spider-Man was effectively reset. What many fans don't know is that the idea of ending Peter and Mary Jane's marriage had existed inside Marvel for years. Several editors believe Spider-Man worked better as a younger, single character struggling with dating, jobs, and everyday life. The problem? Peter and Mary Jane had been married since 1987. The marriage was extremely popular with many readers. Simply divorcing them risked a massive backlash. Marvel wanted a dramatic solution that would remove the marriage without portraying either character as the villain. The answer became One More Day. Another little-known fact is that legendary Spider-Man writer J. Michael Straczynski reportedly disagreed with parts of the story. Straczynski had written some of Spider-Man's most acclaimed modern stories and was initially planning a different conclusion. Reports from interviews over the years suggest creative disagreements emerged during production regarding how the marriage would be removed. The final version reflected editorial direction and became one of the most discussed creative decisions in Spider-Man history. Here's another strange detail. Marvel never fully explained exactly how the altered timeline worked. Some events clearly happened, others appeared changed. Readers spent years trying to figure out what was still canon and what had been rewritten by Mephisto's deal. Even today, fans continue debating the mechanics of the timeline. One of the biggest mysteries involves Mephisto's true motivation. In the comic, he seems unusually interested in Peter and Mary Jane's relationship. Years later, Marvel finally revealed a possible reason. In the storyline Amazing Spider-Man number 74 and later stories, it was suggested that Mephisto had seen a future where Peter and Mary Jane's daughter could play a major role in defeating him. If that future child existed, Mephisto's power could be threatened. Destroying the marriage may have been part of a much larger plan. Another surprising fact is that One More Day became one of Marvel's most successful controversies. Fans were furious. Comic shops were flooded with debates. Online forums exploded with arguments. Yet the story kept Spider-Man at the center of comic book discussions for years. Whether readers loved it or hated it, everyone had an opinion, and controversy often keeps characters relevant. What's even more interesting is that Marvel has repeatedly hinted at revisiting the decision. Over the years, various writers have teased the possibility of Peter and Mary Jane reuniting. Some stories directly reference the lost marriage. Others suggested the memories still exist somewhere beneath reality itself. The shadow of One More Day has never fully disappeared. Today, One More Day remains one of the most divisive Spider-Man stories ever published. Some readers believe it restored Spider-Man's classic appeal. Others see it as the moment Marvel sacrificed decades of character development. But regardless of where you stand, one thing is certain. Few comic book stories have had a bigger impact on a character's history than One More Day, and nearly 20 years later, Spider-Man fans are still waiting to see if the deal with Mephisto will ever truly be undone. What do you think? Was One More Day a necessary reset for Spider-Man or Marvel's biggest mistake?